I've observed that a lot of men are quite hard on themselves. A lot of men have quite high standards of how they think they should be. And there is a certain nobility to having standards, but when those standards are so high that they create the feeling that you're constantly falling short, there's nothing particularly helpful about that or productive or generative about that. So you're actually keeping yourself in a state of feeling less than. And you can end up almost too comfortable in this state of feeling that you're not enough, which doesn't help you become the man that you can be. What helps you become the man that you can be is looking at how far you've come and looking at your actions in the present moment and seeing whether those are a reflection of what you truly deeply want for yourself. A lot of men want to step up and become someone, so to speak, so that they can be loved and accepted by others. Perhaps it's a woman, perhaps it's their peers, perhaps it's the world. And that validation can't take the place of your own self-respect. So you need to become your own authority. This is one of the, I guess it's like the king archetype in a way. It's like you have to step into the part of you which knows what you want, knows what you want to create, and which creates it because it's coming from the heart, not because someone else who you respect is doing a similar thing and you think you need to be like them. But what often happens when we're struggling, unfortunately, is we look to others and we see a certain aspect of their life which is open for display. We compare themselves to that ideal. Perhaps it's the body, perhaps it's the mind, perhaps it's the family, perhaps it's the money, whatever it is. Perhaps it's their sense of stillness and clarity in themselves, but we don't see the full picture. We don't see that that man also has unique struggles, unique things that they're working with behind closed doors, where they're just as humbled and just as leveled by the difficulty as you are. So we think that we shouldn't be struggling. And because we think we shouldn't be struggling, our relationships and our business and our work and our training becomes a reminder of how inadequate we are. Because we think not only are we not enough, but we're not meant to be struggling. And these two false beliefs lead us to then withdraw our resources from the very practices, people, and places where we should be investing them. Not only to cultivate ourselves, but to contribute to the collective. So it's really important when you're struggling to remember that you are not in this alone, even though it feels like you have to carry it by yourself. Yes, you have certain burdens that you alone can carry, and it's your duty and your gift to strengthen yourself from the carrying of those burdens, but you're not the only one. You're not the only one feeling this. It's okay to feel rattled. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to strive and fail, because ultimately success is an accumulation of failures which educate you to the point where you're a fool who becomes wise, and you get some scars along the way, and you also gain respect along the way for having had some skin in the game. But if you keep looking to other people and you think that they have all the solutions, and you keep overwhelming yourself with inputs, social media, books, if you keep looking for all these role models outside of yourself, you'll never fully become the man that respects himself and knows and has a strong yes and a strong no. And you'll never be able to commit to anything fully because it won't come from your heart. But when you make a commitment from your heart, because you've taken those inputs, which are sometimes distracting, away, when you've had some time to detox from the noise of the world and you've sat in your own space with your own thoughts and you've processed your own stuff and you've taken care of yourself, you've nourished yourself, you've slept well, you've moved, you've strategized, you've contributed. When you do that without the distractions, you just block them out for a bit, you start to access this inner fire, this sense of inner wisdom, this sense of I know who I am, I know why I'm here, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing, and I know why it matters. And you'll feel it. It's not something that you can Google. It's not something I can tell you. This is for you to do. Turn into yourself. Support yourself. The weak, depleted, tired, martyr version of you is not able to support yourself or anyone else in any meaningful or sustainable way. And if you manage to do it from that place, if by some miracle you do manage to support others, then the imprint, the type of demonstration that you've given, the model that you've become is one of self-negation, an unhealthy self-sacrifice. And so then other men are going to look to you and think that that's how they should live. And it's just not efficient. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work. It doesn't leave us with enough energy and abundance to connect, collaborate, create, and do all the things that make us thrive as a human species. We're not islands. We can't do it alone. We're not meant to do it alone. We have individual burdens to carry. We have a journey to walk into our own hearts, but that's not the same thing as having to do it all by yourself. The emotional aspects sometimes feel solitary, but you are not alone as a man in doing this. So you should speak to other men, and you should speak not to seek advice necessarily, unless you deeply respect them, unless you know that they've achieved what you want to achieve and you respect their character. Like, don't just ask for advice from dudes who have money but a shit family life, or, you know, seem to have a decent family but are stressed as fuck all the time. Be discerning with who you take your advice from and what parts you listen to. Be aware that perhaps you're the person that you need. Perhaps you are the person that you need, and perhaps everyone else just has like aspects of the truth that you have to filter through your own being. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Really, this is a note of encouragement. I've had some fantastic conversations with brothers, guys who are raising kids, taking care of partners who aren't well, developing themselves, cultivating themselves. And I've just seen this theme of feeling that we're not doing enough or that we're not doing it right. And I think the people who ask these questions and who are hardest on themselves are often the ones who have carried too much by themselves for too long. And I include myself in that. So much love to you all. I hope this video has helped you, and I will speak to you soon.